सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेमदेवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। अथाश्वलायनः
अताश्वलायनः
भगवन्तं परमेष्टिनमुपसमेत्योवाच
भगवन्तं परमेष्ठिनम् उपसमेत्योवाच
अधीहि भगवन् ब्रह्मविद्यां वरिष्ठाम्
अधीहि भगवन् ब्रह्मविद्यां वरिष्ठाम्
सदा सद्भिः सेव्यमानां निगूढाम्
सदा सद्भिः सेव्यमानां निगूढाम्
यया चिरात् सर्वपापं व्यपोह्य
यया चिरात् सर्वपापं व्यपोह्य
परात् परं पुरुषं याति विद्वान्
परात् परं पुरुषं याति विद्वान्
तस्मै सहोवाच पितामहश्च
तस्मै सहोवाच पितामहश्च
श्रद्धा भक्ति ध्यानयोगादवैः
श्रद्धा भक्तिध्यानयोगादवैः
न कर्मणा न प्रजया धनेन
न कर्मणा न प्रजया धनेन
त्यागेनैके अमृतत्वमानशुः
त्यागेनैके अमृतत्वमानशुः
परेण नाकन्निहितं गुहायाम्
परेण नाकं निहितं गुहायाम्
विभ्राजते यद्यतयो विशन्ति
विभ्राजते यद्यतयो विशन्ति
वेदान्तविज्ञानसुनिश्चितार्थाः
वेदान्तविज्ञानसुनिश्चितार्थाः
संन्यासयोगात् यतयः शुद्धसत्त्वाः
सन्न्यासयोगाद्यतयः शुद्धसत्त्वाः
ते ब्रह्मलोकेषु परान्तकाले
ते ब्रह्मलोकेषु परान्तकाले
परामृताः परिमुच्यन्ति सर्वे
परामृताः परिमुच्यन्ति सर्वे
विविक्तदेशे च सुखासनस्थः
विविक्तदेशे च सुखासनस्थः
शुचिः समग्रीव शिरः शरीरः
शुचिः समग्रीव शिरः शरीरः
अन्त्याश्रमस्थः सकलेन्द्रियाणि
अन्त्याश्रमस्थः सकलेन्द्रियाणि
So this should be Atyashramastha Sakalendriyani.
अद्याश्रमस्थः सकलेन्द्रियाणि
Atyashrama. That nakara you can remove from there.
ओके
Atyashramastha Sakalendriyani.
अत्याश्रमस्थः सकलेन्द्रियाणि
Nirudhya Bhaktya Swagurum Pranamya.
निरुध्य भक्त्या स्वगुरुं प्रणम्य
So Bhagavan Brahmaji has started teaching. And he said that this teaching is meant for those who have recognized the limitations of dharma, artha, and kama, na karmana, na prajaya, ityadi. And what they get out of this is called moksha. He did not use the word moksha, but nakam parena it is. It is better than heaven also, because heaven going is also a result of karma only. Karma phalam it is. Karma phalam is anityam because karma is anityam. Karma is parichinnam, finite, therefore karma phalam has to be finite. So going, coming and all, if we say, it all comes within the category, within the framework of cause and effect. Okay. Within Deshakala Parichinna it is. It is all within the framework of space and time. And therefore, Parena Nakam, very beautiful word. Nihitam, therefore, where is it? No going means I'm stuck or what? You don't have to feel that you're stuck. The beauty, you have to look at it as a beautiful thing. Nihitam Guhaya. Hey, this so-called Atma that I'm seeking, the fulfillment that I'm seeking, fulfillness, I don't know if there is a word like that, but we'll use the word fulfillment. And I'm seeking that fulfillment. Fortunately, the desire for fulfillment itself comes from a sense of fulfillment that I've already experienced in my life. Everybody knows what Sukham is. If I can't be happy where I am, I could have never been happy at all. I can never have had the experience of joy. Okay. But I made a mistake that the joy is coming from outside. That is what Shastram is pointing out. And so Nihitam Guhayam Vibhrajate. And such people are called Yatayaha. We saw that. And that is also called Vedanta. Vedanta Vijnana Sunischitarthaha. They have made up their mind. Why they made up their mind? Because Pariksha Lokan, because they have analyzed their experiences. This is pure analysis. Pure analysis. And therefore, so that phalam, jnana phalam is parimuchyanti, paramritaha parimuchyanti, or parimuchyante, whatever. That much was said. Until now, nothing was said, no advice was given to the people who are studying this. From here onwards, an advice is given. Okay. Okay. So all right, we'll bring the Padabeda, Antyashramastaha is saying. That's okay, let it be there. I'm going to use Atyashrami. All right, anyway. Vivikta deshe cha sukhasanastaha. Shuchihi samagriva sharira shiraha. I mean, samagriva shira shariraha. So this will quickly remind you of certain things. right? Some of you will say, yes, some words seem familiar. And asanastaha and all it is talking. Sukhasanam and all is talking. So this is talking about doing dhyanam, meditation. It's talking about proper posture and all that. And so it is very odd, is very odd for an Upanishad to start the teaching with dhyanam and what posture you should sit and things like very odd. In the other Upanishads, we never see these things. But still, Krishna talks about it in the sixth chapter. What is it called? Atma Samyama Yoga or Dhyana Yoga. We've seen that. So, so here, Swamiji says, even in Ashtanga Yoga, Dhyanam comes much later. Okay, Yama, Niyama, Ityadi, then Shraddha, etc. comes. Then only Jnana. Asana Pranayama is there. And then Pratyahara, Dhyanam, Samadhi. It's a seventh step, actually speaking. And so here, as far as we are concerned, we can remind ourselves about that Ekarupa Ishvaraha, Anekarupa or Vishwarupa Ishvaraha, and Arupa Ishvaraha. Bhagavan is something that all of us have grown with. Very important it is. And it is Ekarupa Ishvaraha. Bhagavan has a form, particular form. And one form I like, and that form I like is called Ishta Devata. Many forms also are there, but I like this Ganapati very much. So Ganapati is my Ishta Devata. That's how all of us grow up. And so that Ishta Devata is so important. And if I didn't have an Ishta Devata, we may get to an Ishta Devata that comes later in our lives. Some of us are not religious initially. Then later on we become religious after hearing a lot of things. Then an Ishta Devata can, I like Krishna, or you know, I like Saraswati, Lakshmi. Saraswati I like because I like that knowledge is so important. Therefore, she became my Ishta Devata. Or in our case, in Ashavidya Gurukulam, they have always a Dakshinamurti temple. And Dakshinamurti has become the teacher. And he's the teacher of teachers. And so many people there like that, they will, Dakshinamurti will become Ishtadeva. I think anytime Ishtadevata can be invoked in us anytime. And so, and you can also change the Devata. Oh, I used to worship Ganesha as a child. Now, if I leave Ganesha, then what happens? Already he is putting obstacles, right? Vigneshwara he is. Vignanam Ishwaraha he is. You are not an ordinary guy he is. And if you look this way, then he will say, wait, I'll come after you. And kudu, he will walk like this and come after you. And then this Vedanta is saying one thing, Ganesha is running after me, and then my spouse is running up. So these are all problems, one problem after the other. No, don't worry. It is not like that. That's a childish view. That is a childish view. Correct? I come to know that these kinds of ideas, when I go to a temple, I have to worship everybody there. It's all there. Now, otherwise, Navagraha is there. These fellows will chase me. And then Sade Sati is waiting. And so now I have to do Namaskar to him also. So these ideas are there. Slowly, what we do is we focus our attention on our Ishta Devata. So that's the growth process here. Beginning to understand that is Sarvavyapi Ishvaraha. And Ishvara, that is formless, really speaking. I have given a form to it. And I've given it so many different devatas are there. I've broken up this cosmos into so many devatas. And so the devatas are there for my benefit and not to put spokes in my wheel. They're not there to create problems for me. That idea has to come sooner or later. Otherwise, I'll get stuck. And so in that temple, I can even focus on one devata, my Ishta devata, and then spend more time with him or her. More time. And the rest are there, okay. You can just say namaskar and then do. whatever you do in the temple, and then relax. It's supposed to keep you calm, and it's supposed to improve your vision of the whole universe and about the self. And so, otherwise, a temple will become a source of anxiety. Wait, somebody is saying, come, come, time has come, auto has come. You are only 2 rounds, this Navagraha you have done. You're used to doing nine. 9 times you have to do, What will you do? Tell me. Do you tell them to wait or do you rush? But if you rush, then Shani gets upset means what will you do? All problems only. Everywhere there is some problem. So just before going to the temple, just get set. And no such thing as small temple, big temple and all. What is my vision? What am I going there for? Let me be clear about it. And so, Ekarupa Ishvaraha, Anekarupa or Vishwarupa Ishvaraha, and finally I have to come to Arupa Ishvaraha. Because Vishnu, Viveshti iti Vishnu, Sarvavyapi. Sarvavyapi Vishnu cannot have a form. Am I clear about that or not? Okay. So, that's the process we are going to follow. And that's how the Upanishad is going to take us through also. And so therefore, that process is a growth process. Ekarupa Ishvaraha is there. Ishtadevata is just very important. Ishtadevata puja can be done all the time. Throughout our life, we can do Ishtadevata puja. Because it is the Ishtadevata who has made me see the Vishwarupa Drishti that Krishna showed Arjuna in the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. And therefore, Ishtadevata continues to be there. Then Vishwarupa, all forms are Ishvara's forms only, Bhagavan's forms. And therefore, I can appreciate that also. And then Arupa Ishvaraha. Only when I am ready to give up the form that as Satyam, the form is not Satyam. Any form is Mithya. Even Ishvara's form is Mithya. I must be able to say. And that kind of confidence I must have, courage I must have. And that is born of knowledge, obviously. Then Arupa Ishvara is waiting for me. And so that process, Swami Paramarthanandaji explains that very well. And so, so once I see that, then I begin to know that all this, this, this ism goes away. Ism. What is ism? Vaishnavism, Shaivism, Devism, Shankaraism. All these are isms. Hey, these isms are all there for a purpose, and you don't take it as Paramarthika Satyam. Let you be whatever ism you are, follow that ism, but be ready to recognize that all isms are there for a purpose. They are meant for my own antakarna shuddhi, and every ism will dissolve. When I see Vishnu, every ism is gone. Therefore, there can't be any conflict between conflict can't be there between any Ishta Devata. Okay. Sometimes we joke and say, we go after Lakshmi, Saraswati will not come. Like that we say in the ashram, we say. And so if you want Saraswati, you have to let go of Lakshmi. Otherwise, Saraswati will get jealous. So all these things are there. So that's okay. And therefore, so this dhyanam is being introduced by the Upanishad. She is telling Vivikta Deshe, and the next mantra also, Hrit Pundarikam Virijam Shivam Prashantam Amritam Brahmayonim. Shivam, that word is used in the next mantra. And in the seventh mantra only, Umasahayam Parameshwaram comes. Hey, who am I doing meditation about? That's also quietly Upanishad is introducing. Parameshwaram, Shivam. Okay, I hope you saw those things. Parameshwaram, Shivam. Okay. And who is Parameshwara? Umasahayam. Okay, Umasahayam. That Parameshwara who is not separate from Uma, that kind of Shiva. So it's like some people say it is Shiva Dhyanam. Shiva Dhyanam is being talked about. Okay, so that is just by the way. And so here, look at this. So I'm deciding how much details to give here. This Dhyanam. So Vivikta Deshe Sukhasa Nastaha. Dhyanam is an important aspect in our tradition. The Western traditions, Dhyanam, they have something has happened, and traditional Christians will not allow Dhyanam and all that. There is a big fight. There are two schools of thought, and some people say Dhyanam is a pagan thing. They've labeled all these things, so they're stuck out. Their labels just trap them. That's it. So then some people say it's all pagan thing, Dhyanam and all meditation. It's and yoga also. It's not acceptable. It's for some people. Some people will say no, yoga is useful, Dhyanam is useful like that. There is a different schools of thought in the West, but for us it's not a school of thought and all. It's all important. Dhyanam is just part of our culture, and either it is beneficial to oneself in terms of getting a calm mind. Sooner or later, people realize Dhyanam is useful to me. Practical, it is. It's useful to me. And here also in Vedanta, Dhyanam is useful to me because I need what is called Chitta Shuddhi. Chitta Shuddhi, Dhyanam does wonders. Even to sit to meditate, it takes many janmas to come to that point. Okay. And I was teaching meditation to a long ago, some 15, 20 years ago, to a family. And they wanted to do it. And things weren't going that well. But it was going well also. So I taught them. They had they had two young children. Young children were there. And these children, when I was teaching them Dhyanam, the children became afraid. Became afraid means there was so much rajas at home that the children could become uncomfortable with silence, with just being themselves. They were not comfortable. I was a bit shocked myself that that could happen when there is a lot of rajas in the family or in the mind. Rajas means activity, dynamism, and the person who is that kind of active depends on that activity for being happy. Depends on the activity for telling oneself I'm doing good. And you ask the person to reduce activity even for a short time, that person won't be able to. And so this, that was very interesting for me, that particular experience. But here the purpose of Dhyanam is Chitta Shuddhi. Chitta Shuddhi, which I have gained even by living a life of Dharma also. And so now Dhyanam is coming. Ekarupa Dhyanam, Ekarupa Ishvara Dhyanam is there. That is how we start. Then Vishwarupa Dhyanam, by recognizing Ishvara everywhere. Okay, every sound is Ishvara. Everything I hear during Dhyanam, I see Ishvara there at work. Ishvara at work. Okay, and everything I see during the day, during the waking hours, that is also Ishvara. So, Shraddhanuviddha Vishwarupa Dhyanam and Drishyanuviddha Vishwarupa Dhyanam, all these things are there. And so, here, he is beginning to tell us some tips on this dhyanam. First, he is saying Vivikta Deshe, in a quiet place, in a secluded place. That is the literal meaning of Vivikta Deshe. And we've already seen it in the Bhagavad Gita also, we saw it. Vivikta Desha Sevitvam was there in the 13th chapter. 13th chapter, 10th shloka. Vivikta Desha Sevitvam Aratirjana Samsadi. There it was value, not dhyanam. In 13th chapter, it is all values. Amanitvam, Madambitvam, etc. Values. And one of the value is what? Vivikta Desha Sevitvam Aratirjana Samsadi. Jana Samsadi. This Jana Samsad, this group of people, group clamoring for company, company of people. Some people love this company. They just love it very much. And nothing wrong with loving company at all. But if that becomes a dependence or not, ratihi, ratihi, that's what he says there in Bhagavad Gita. Ratihi means I'm just excited when people are around. I'm really excited. When they leave, what happens if I leave? If I'm dependent on company, when I leave company, then I'm going to get depressed. So Krishna says there, aratihi. Don't have rati in it. Have aratihi, and don't clamor for company. Don't don't what do you call it? Yeah, d- don't seek.
Yarn.
Yeah, yearn. Don't yearn for company. Don't yearn for company. Okay. And so aratihi janasamtati. Then what? Vivikta desha sevitvam. He says there. Hey, get used to. Begin to love just where you are. Begin to love the space, quiet spaces. Learn to be by yourself. There itself, it's a value. But here, uh, of course, there is an exception to seeking company. So it's called satsang. Because sangaha. So sangaha you don't seek, we say. But satsanga is there. That also is a sangha only. It's a sangha. The outside sangha is people have all these parties, dinner parties. Dinner parties, they won't even sit down and eat. In America, you sitting down and eating is there, but standing and eating is also there. And that was the first time I saw all that. Standing and eating, I just wonder, how do you stand and eat? Is that even right for me to do it? Everybody is doing it. Then what do you do? Now I want to sit down and sit on the floor also. Imagine how it will be shocking to everybody in America. What is this guy doing? So, so that is called standing sangha. For us, it is all sat sangha. Sit sangha. Okay. So sat sangha is okay. That sangha is good for you. So there also we're not seeking company, but we're seeking to know, seeking to hear some good thoughts, etc. And so that Vivikta Desha is being mentioned here. And then, so all this meditation and all, the reason it comes is our our rishis and our yogis looked at the body differently. They said this body is not what you think it is. It is like the way a physicist looks at a piece of metal, and this piece of metal is magnet. It's a magnet also. Okay, it has magnetic fields around it. You can't see it with your eyes, but it has a north pole, it has a south pole, and it is a center is there, and there are fields going like this. And we saw that when we were studying. All these fields are there. You also know when you keep a magnet, it attracts metal. So it's powerful. In fact, a magnet is not measured by its size, it is measured by its power. I remember once, there used to be these, these things that are stuck on the refrigerator. They used to have these things. And you pull it out, and that little small magnet it is. It's a small circular magnet, but it's pretty strong, and you have to really pluck it from the refrigerator. That's how strong it is. I was very impressed. Man, you can have that kind of a strong magnet also, and small thing. So like that, our bodies are also like that. Magnet also has power centers, and your body also has power centers. So this chakra vidya is very big. Muladhara chakram and all is there. It's a huge science. It is huge science, and we don't study that science here. But that science is there. That's the way they look at the body. So begin to recognize the body as something that's capable of a lot of things. And so for that, one has to become calm. So these positions, these mudras, they have so many things. And every mudra, what is the meaning of that? Like that, it's a big science, very big science. You all know that such thing exists. And so that's why our meditation becomes important. Dhyanam becomes important. So first step is what? Vivikta deshe. Look for a secluded place. Kitchen is a quiet place, suppose you say. Kitchen is a quiet place means it's a bit odd because once you go to the kitchen, you'll be reminded only of food or some turmeric smell will come. Our Indian kitchens, things are there, too many things, and we don't know. Cockroaches also may be going around because it's an ecosystem. You can't simply eliminate all these things. It's not possible. Some for your satisfaction, you can do certain things, but these fellows are always there. So suddenly you sit in meditation, feels good, and then something is crawling on your thigh. Means then you don't need this kind of stuff. And so just leave the kitchen aside and find some other place. So vivikta deshaha sukhasanastaha sukhasanastaha. So sthira sukham asanam. Patanjali Yoga Sutra. I think it's called sthira sukham asanam. And it is sutra number 246, 2.46, Patanjali Yoga Sutra. And so there also it talks about comfortable position, asanam. Okay. And in sixth chapter also we have many mantras like that. Next mantra is even better. Samagriva Shira Shariraha. So I'll come to that. So Sukasanastaha, Shuchihi, Shuchihi. That also was there as a value, okay, in the 13th chapter. So Acharya Upasanam, Shaucham, Stairyam, Atma Vinigraha, etc. So there it's a value. Bahya Shuchihi means external cleanliness is important. So you want your surroundings to be somewhat tidy and and it should invite you to do what you like to do, whether it is study or a discussion, whatever the activity is, it should invite you. Kitchen also. Kitchen has a lot of things. It can go dirty very quickly. And that's why kitchen maintenance people they have to pay alert. They have to be alert. And one little thing there, and then it can be a problem. And if it's clean, then it invites you to come and then do the cooking. So shuchihi very important. Bakhya shuchihi. And then antara shuchihi, which is every word talks about antara shuchihi. Amanitvam, Adambitvam, Ahimsa, Kshanti, Rajavam. They're all representations of antara shuchihi or means to gain that antara shuchihi. Correct? Uh, means what? Hey, this this raga dvesha, mada matsarya, krodha lobha, all these things are there. Shad ripu, they're called six enemies. Six enemies are there. Enemies are not out there at the border. At the border also there are different kinds of enemies. But this head itself has enemies. Okay. Shad ripuhu. So these things one has to work out. One has to process all these things. And anything that is needed to process it is important. Nothing is small in this matter. Okay. Like they say, jealousy has to be nipped in the bud. Jealousy must have been gone by now by a person studying Upanishad. But otherwise, if jealousy and all comes, we have to just work on it and say, this is not acceptable. This is not acceptable. At least we can help others who are talking about jealousy and all. We have to get used to get used to telling them, hey, this jealousy won't help you. Jealousy is like a fire, and you allow it to just stay. it will become big. It will just consume the person. Person will be lost. And because that it's a burning thing, just burns. And like that, all these values, anger is there. Anger will always come. In any interaction, the potential for frustration is there, anger is there. Frustration can become anger. So catching ourselves periodically. So all that is important. And Antarashuchihi. So that's why before meditation, we make sure we are preparing ourselves mentally also. Don't get into any conversations which have the potential to heat up. Which have the potential. If I make this call, I'm going to get disturbed. Means it's not going to be a comfortable conversation. Therefore, I will postpone it for later. That's good. That's a smart idea because I don't want that to disturb my meditation. So these are all things we have to make use of, think about, and so so earlier he also said this tyagena eke. So sannyasa dharma was said. And for this particular vidya, that seclusion is very important. It's already there. As for a sannyasa, it is already there. But for us, for others who are not sannyasis, we have to make a special effort. At least during the 20 minutes or 30 minutes, can I be a sannyasi? Mentally, I must be a sannyasi. That is what it is. And that's an amazing thing. That's just wonderful. So we talk about roles, and then we talk about how to give up, how to see all my activities. I associate my activities to roles, and how those roles are just roles, so that I allow the problems to be there with the role, but not with me. I am responsible for what I do in that role, but I don't have to. I don't have to make the problem intrinsic to me. It is there. I am responsible for it. I am accountable for it. That's good because I am playing that role and I have that hat. And so whenever I play a role, I must discharge the duties of the role. So like that, I do. And so I discard all those roles during this time. And I discard the roles, then I become ready for this dhyanam. So all these ideas we can bring in here. So here Swamiji says, Sarva Sangha Parityagaha. Like that he's saying. And so anyway, Antara Shuchihi that is. And then Samagriva Shirashariraha. Samam ka Yashiro Grivam comes to our mind from Bhagavad Gita, sixth chapter. Sixth chapter, 13th shloka. Samam ka Yashiro Grivam Dharayannachalam Sthiraha Samprekshanasikagram Swam Dishaschanavalokayan. Like that, we saw that. Samam here, Grivaha. Grivaha is neck, Shiraha is head. Shariraha. Shariraha literally means body, but here the rest of the body. Rest of the body that is there, which is the torso, you can say torso. Must be in a straight line. Must be in a straight line. Straight line. So then immediately one question will come. Can I lie down? Then also the Shiraha and Grivaha and Shariraha is in a straight line only, no? He didn't say you should sit. Did he say you should sit anywhere? No, he didn't say sit down and all. You said this this thing should be in a straight line. I like one straight line. It's called horizontally lying down. That's a good straight line, and that works well for me also. So, so we don't insist on positions. See, Padmasana position is ideal because it keeps that. It's like locking the position. It locks your position. It's like locking the thing. Some things where you can lock it, and then it will be like that position. Like you have a bicycle or you have this motorcycle, you the front wheel of the motorcycle is like this. When you park it, it's like this turn like. Then there is a particular key lock where if you lock it, then it won't even turn. So even if somebody manages to steal it, they're going to find it a little difficult because it's not even in a straight line. So that's called locking. So this Padmasana locks the position. But we are not interested in that kind of a position. It has to be a comfortable position. Sukhasanastaha is important. And and so if you have to lie down to do dhyanam, that's fine. Go ahead and lie down. If you can tell yourself that I'm not going to sleep when I lie down, and if you can be successfully doing dhanam without sleeping, then you can, that position is good for you. That's it. Because people are sitting also and snoring in class. Okay, that also we know. So sitting snoring is better, or lying down and nicely doing dhanam is better. If you ask, I will go with this. Lying down only. Horizontal positions is better. Any day better. And so, like some of my students say, "Pah, the dhyana was very refreshing." And you ask him, what did I tell in the dhyana? Half an hour, 30 minutes, I've been talking, and keeping quiet and all that. I think you mentioned the word Krishna. That means this fellow had a nice nap. That's why it's very refreshing for him. And so, so that is that. And then, Sakala Indriyani Nirudhya. Sakala Indriyani Nirudhya. So lying down means, what about my eyes? Yeah, eyes should not be looking at the ceiling, it, or it should not be open. Ideally, it can be open also, but initially you but just shut down all the sense organs, and the major sense organ is the eye, because the eye just brings in lot of stimulus, and so just if you close the eyes, that's equivalent to shutting down all other sense organs. Of course, the doors, etc., are closed and people are, you chose the right time, then the noise will be reduced significantly. And so he's saying here, Indriyani, Sakalendriyani, Sakalam means all sense organs. I like I like halls. Can I put halls in my mouth and do dhyanam? People ask what to do. They ask all these questions. These days we have to be prepared for all kinds of questions. Those days they didn't have to do. We never thought of asking Swamiji all these questions, but now people are asking all this. And so, Uncle, how I like meditation, etc. Good. I said, keep whatever you want in your mouth. Don't worry. Just, just be quiet and so here in the Sakala Indriyani, he says, Sarvadvarani samyamya mano hridi nirudhya cha. That is 8th chapter, 812. 812. But there 812, that particular shloka is withdrawing all sense organs, but it is getting ready for that time of death, etc. So we should not quote that. And we can we can quote this Kathopanishad mantra. Okay, if you want to write this down, 2, 3, 10 is there. 2, 3, 10, which we studied. So yada panchavatishtante jnanani manasasaha buddhischa na vicheshtati. No cheshta. There's no cheshta. Buddhi does cheshta, manaha does cheshta. Cheshta means all this mischief going around. And Swamiji tells a very interesting thing. Class is going on. Swamiji is teaching right there. All of us are sitting down. And then somebody gets up. Somebody in the audience gets up and then leaves. Some reason is there for the person to get up. Generally, we don't get up, but somebody gets up. Now all eyes are looking at that person. And like this, like this. So somebody is asking, wait a minute, I am teaching and I'm not looking at the person. Okay, I am teaching. My concentration is still on teaching only. And now everybody is looking at the person. What happened to the class? And I'm telling, I'm talking. Are you listening to me or are you looking at somebody else? Hey, the mind is like this. Mind is going to be like this. Warning. Going to be like this. It takes some time before the mind says, okay, just chalega. Come on, stay focused. Like that. It'll take some time. So don't condemn yourself. Natmanam avasadayet. That I sat in meditation, I wanted to meditate, but nothing really happened. So that feeling can be there initially. And therefore, in order to minimize those things, Sakala Indriyani Nirudhya. Nirudhya means by by suppressing, by I shouldn't say suppress, by not allowing the sense organs, by not giving them the opportunity to operate. How about that? Instead of saying suppress and all that, there is nothing to suppress. You just close your eyes, and eyes will not complain. And so just close, shutting off all those fields. You shut off the light, then even if you keep the eyes open, you can't see anything. That's it. So then the job of the eyes is gone. And so now you come back slowly to yourself. And here now he says, and Ashtanga Yoga is called Pratyahara. Same thing. Sakala Indriyani Nirudhya. Nirudhya means having restrained your senses by removing all the degrees of freedom for the senses. That is called Sakala Indriyani Nirudhya. Then Atyashramastaha. Okay. Antyashramastaha is also okay. But let me explain what it is. Then you can decide. Atyashrami. One meaning of Atyashrami is a sannyasi. Sannyasi is called an Atyashrami because that person has now passed through all the ashramas. Sannyasa ashrama is the last ashrama. Now that person can't say, now I've grown out of this ashrama, I want to run away from this ashrama. All these questions doesn't arise at all. And so that's the end. That's it. After this, there is nothing more left. Oh, I wish I did not take sannyasa. Yeah, this is the problem. That problem can be there, and we know why that comes. And so, not ready. So, sannyasa ashrama has to be earned, not simply taken, as a romantic fascination or all. No. So, that is one meaning. What is one meaning? Sannyasa ashrama, which is the end of all ashramas, which is the culmination of all the ashramas, is an atyashrama. Or, or look at this. Atyashramastaha. Atyashrame tishtati iti. Means what? Hey, these ashramas are all roles, right? Who am I? When we are there, we are very aware of who we are. Very aware. What do you mean by very aware? Hey, I am a father, I am a mother, I am a son, I am a daughter. My duties are all calling me. The minute I get up, I have duties. Duties are meant for what? Meant for me. Meant for me means what? Well, if I'm employed, then I have duties. Then I have to discharge those duties. 8 hours, 9 hours a day, I have to discharge. So those duties are calling me. Calling me means what? Calling that employee role. Okay. I am a mother, I am a father. Oh God, there is, that's it. Duties are going to be there. Even if the children are there, they're growing up, suppose, then duties are going to be there, constant. So I am aware. And nobody has to tell me you are a parent. That is the meaning of awareness. I am aware. Without, I don't have to meditate on the fact that I am a father or mother. I am father. That's it. I am mother. And so those duties are calling me. Okay. I'm a citizen of this complex, this particular, whatever that complex is, the, where people are living. Okay. So that means I have some duties there also. There are certain rules I follow. Okay. Rules that are set up by the association of this particular living community is there. So parking rules are there, and then so many other rules are there. So I am bound by those duties. So each is a role. Each is a role. Okay. So you take this ashrama. Ashrama means it's a bunch of roles, many, many roles, including citizen of the country. That also is a role. And so you go into this meditation with all these roles. Guess what? Nothing will happen. You will only get perturbed and disturbed, and you will think I'm wasting half an hour time. That's what will happen. You go with all these agendas, all the plan, the whole day, there is so much to do. And I'm sit there. Then what will happen? You come out of meditation and say, I planned my vacation. Our vacation we have got. I got very good ideas during my meditation. Hey, what? You were sitting and planning? Yeah, it was good. Mind was calm and I could plan a lot of things. Not bad. At least to that extent, you said the mind was calm. Bah, so much after so much we've got come to this point. That's great. That's great. And so he's saying Atyashramastaha. Become an Atyashrami. Become somebody who's free of all roles and all ashramas. Can he become a sannyasi? Can he become free of all roles during the half an hour of meditation? Yeah, Atyashramastaha. Give up all roles. Give up all roles. And there's a way to give up also. Even deliberately, we tell ourselves, I am not father. I'm going to take the role of father. I'm going to just put that hat. They say, your hat. What hat are you wearing? They say. What hat? What role are you playing? That hat. Imagine just putting the hat outside. Then I'm going to put the another hat is there. I have. It's called the job hat, employee hat, or employer hat. Employer hat is even bigger than employee hat, I suppose. So that hat also I have to put out. Like this, one by one, keep the hats out. There's a stack of hats there. I'm happy that stack is there. Okay, now who am I? I'm somebody without any of those hats. Aha. So physically, at least, I've told myself that I am now free of roles. Therefore, now I can't bring those problems also. Duties, nothing is there. All the problems belong to those hats, which I have to take. I should not forget to take on when after the meditation. Okay, after meditation, responsibilities are there, and so that is also done. And so, Atyashramastha, very beautiful word. Atyashrame tishtati iti Atyashramastha. Yeah, all these words. They're all purely cultural, and there's a vision behind that. And then, Swagurum Pranamya, Prarthana, prayer. Prayer is very important in our culture. Whatever I do, I start the day with a prayer. I start any activity also with a prayer. Saraswati Namastubhyam also I can do. Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami. So like this, we have prayer and prayer. Swami Tattvavidananda says, without prayer, the worldliness will overwhelm me. Like that, he said in a talk somewhere. It will just overwhelm me. Prayer is the best time where I can just be by myself. Nobody can complain that I am lighting the lamp. Correct? It's not possible. They may complain all day long, but at least during this time, they can't complain. They'll just keep lighting the lamp, ringing the bell, okay? Chanting shlokas. Nobody can complain. So that is a beautiful time. Prayer time is beautiful time. And because this prayer buddhi is there, that dharmartha kama buddhi is there. And I am now changing the direction towards moksha buddhi. And from this dharmartha kama prayo buddhi to shreyo buddhi, I have to come. And so prayer can be now consciously done also to make the transition happen smoothly. And I'm now reminded of this Trayambakam yajamahe sugandhim pushtivardhanam. Transition smoothly means that's what comes to my mind. So, for those who don't know, I can explain it briefly. Trayambakam yajamahe, this become a popular chant now that many people know it. I think that's one advantage for us. Because now if you know it, then I can now invoke it also. Trayambakam yajamahe. I worship this three-eyed devata, who is Shiva. So Trayambakam yajamahe sugandhim pushtivardhanam. Hey, he's fragrant. He's fragrant because he's living in a smashana. And I have applied this one, all this chandan and all that to him. So he's now fragrant. And then pushtivardhanam, he can only mean good for me. Because Shiva. Shiva means mangalam. And so mangalam means good. He can only do good for me. Therefore, pushtivardhanam. Then there is a beautiful Urvarukamiva bandhanat mrityor mukshiyam amritat. Bandhanat. So I am bound by whatever I am, whoever I am. By my duties, I am bound. By my ashrama, I am bound. And future also, I have no. Future also seems like it's going to continue like that. But no, it doesn't have to be like that. And so I'm in this journey where it need not be like that. And so rather than saying I'm going to run away from my duties, okay, let the duties move away from me. How nice it is. Means what? Let the people, let the people who I'm duty bound towards, let them also say move away. Like the children move away from parents. Children moving away from parents is a very good thing for parents. Rather than saying my children have gone away and brood over them, I say now I have time. Now I have time for myself. And children, otherwise children will don't they don't know what is their life behind beyond grasta. They don't know. They need to know. And that let me pursue. Let me pursue that. And so Urva Rukam means that white ashed pumpkin is there. And the pumpkin is a fruit and it is growing on a vine, on this, what do you call this, viper or whatever it's called, vine, let's say. And then
Creeper.
creeper, not viper, creeper. And the amazing thing is, at some point, the creeper just snaps off from the pumpkin, snaps off. That's it. It becomes thinner and thinner, and that particular contact just branch just snaps off by itself. The pumpkin doesn't go anywhere, but the creeper goes away from the pumpkin, just gives it up. Like that, may my samsara, my family, my this, let them move away from me rather than me moving away from the family. Look at the mantras they've written. Hmm? It means what? Let my growth process be natural. Let it be natural for others also. Others need not complain about what's going on. They should also feel that this is the right process and you're going through the right process. And I also have to do the same thing like that. The family members also should know. That's called maturity. And so that kind of growth process can happen. Prarthana, pranamya, so important. Prarthana, let it be there in my daily life. And even if don't have much time, still I don't have to come to the puja room to do a prarthana. Prarthana can be done anywhere. So great. And here, Swagurum Pranamya, one's own Guru, having saluted, having done namaskar to one's own Guru. Because Guru is so important. Guru is Pratyaksha Devata. Devatas are all there, but I don't see the Devatas anywhere. Devata is in the form of my own Guru. My own Guru. Pratyaksha Devata. He or she is available for me. And so, this one, our Swamiji's mother used to say, Swamiji's mother used to say, when she was alive. And she used to say, Amampa, Panna, Gettima Puchiko Avana. Means hold on to him tightly. Like that she told others. Others. Hold on to him tightly. Means he's a Mahan. He's a Mahatma. And so she had the right to tell that, you know. She didn't say, oh, see, he's my son and all. No, just hold on to him tightly. Pala Puchiko. Wherever he goes, just go with him. That's it. And so here also, Swaguru Pranamya. Pranamya. So Bhagavad Gita also starts with Partaya Pratiboditam Ambatvamanusandadhami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadveshiti Amba. Hey Bhagavad Gita. So there also, hey, I'm coming towards you. And so, but you have to bless me. Only then I can come towards you, really speaking. And so, Ambatvam. Then after that only, Madhusudana Saraswati writes, Vasudeva Sutam Devam, Kamsa Chanura Mardanam, Devaki Paramanandam, um, Vande Jagadgurum.
Krishna Mande Jagadguru.
Krishna
Krishna
Mande
Mande.
Jagadguru.
Then only he says Krishna Mande, who is Jagadguru. Now he is not this flute playing Krishna. Janmashtami Krishna, no. Let that be there. You keep doing that on the side. But here, Jagat Guru, because universal message is there. Therefore, Jagat Guru. Anybody who wants to know can become a student of Sri Krishna. So, one day, Swagurum, one's own Guru, Pranam, yeah, having having done namaskar to, having thought of, having invoked the grace of one's own guru. Okay. And then what? Will I cover all the words? Tyashravasta, Sakrina, Nirudhya. Nirudhya, Bhaktya, Nirudhya. Bhaktya, Bhaktya. So invoke that bhakti. Without bhakti, none of this is possible. So with that bhakti, I invoke my parents, my grandparents, their parents, everybody gave birth to me. Who I am is a product of that whole lineage. All the tapas they have done has given me into being. And I can only be filled with bhakti. Bhakti will be just overflowing. I did not create anything. This body I did not create. What is there in my head also I did not create. This jnanam I did not create. Veda, of course, I have to learn a lot. So I did not create. Nothing I created. But then I'm still benefiting from all of that. So I'm filled with bhakti. Yeah. Guru appeared out of nowhere. And that also is, therefore I'm filled with bhakti to all the people who have helped me come to this point. And Ishvara Bhakti is, of course, there. So, Bhaktya Swagurum Pranamya. So, that covers this whole shloka. And Swami says, okay, there's no verb here. As I told you, the verb comes two shlokas later. So, here you can say Dhyanam Kuryat. You can put in brackets, you can say, for our own benefit. Dhyanam Kuryat. May one do Dhyanam. May one meditate by following these steps, by following this advice that is given by the Upanishad herself. So now we can imagine Krishna has borrowed this Kaivalya Upanishad because he studied also, And so, and then he restated some of these words in his own Bhagavad Gita. All right. We will move on to the next shloka. So you can, as a homework, you can do your translation. That could be a good exercise for you. Okay. Hrit Pundarikam Virajam Vishuddham.
Jyotiji, please unmute.
Okay. Hritpundarikam virajam vishuddham
Vichintya Madhye Vishadam Vishokam.
vichintya madhye vishadam vishokam
Achinthyamavyaktamanantarupam.
achinthyamavyaktamanam antarupam
Shivam prashantamamritam brahmayonim.
shivam prashantamamritam brahmayonim
Again, Hrit Pundarikam Virajam Vishuddham.
hritpundarikam virajam vishuddham
Vichintya Madhye Vishadam Vishokam.
vichintya madhye vishadam vishokam
Achinthyamavyaktamanantarupam.
achinthyamavyaktamanantarupam
Shivam prashantamamritam brahmayonim.
शिवं प्रशान्तममृतं ब्रह्मयोनिम्.
Yeah. So he's continuing those steps. And later on in the next shloka, he's going to say dhyatva. So meditate on. Okay. So on what do I meditate? It's a big topic. And on Ishvara, of course, Saguna Brahma Vishaya Manasa Vyapara. That is the meaning of Dhyanam. Saguna Brahma Vishaya Manasa Vyapara. What is Dhyanam? Dhyanam is a Vyapara. It's an activity. It's not sleeping. That means it's not sleeping. Okay. So it's an activity. Some mental activity is there. Mental activity means what? I'm active throughout the day. What is that? Throughout the day I'm doing dhyanam. Wait. Manasa vyaparaha. Okay, mental activity. Saguna Brahma Vishaya. The topic of that activity, the subject of the activity, the basis of that activity is Saguna Brahma. If you are thinking of Saguna Brahma means Ishvara, Bhagavan. Okay, if you are thinking of Ishvara all the time, then yeah, you are meditating all the time. Yes. But otherwise, deliberately invoking Saguna Brahma. Brahma. Saguna Brahma means any form of Ishvara, Ishta Devata also is Saguna Brahma only. So that's the definition of Dhyana. So here he is using some words and Hrit Pundarikam. Now the eyes are closed, Sakala Indriyani Niruddhya he talked about. And so the external stimuli are gone. The external world is now not there for me. It's not there for me. Now what is there for me is my mind. That is my internal world. The mind can project a world and that can be a scary world. That itself, whether the world is there or not, the mind is enough. The mind is enough to scare the daylights out of me and keep me busy for my janmas and janmas. So now this internal world is there. Swamiji says external world is shut off, but internal world is very much there. Emotions and thoughts, that's enough. They are the ones who rule my mind. They are the ones who decide everything in my life, it seems. Sometimes that's how it seems. And so, this world of thoughts and emotions, Hrit Pundarikam, Hrit. So, this word Hrit, Hrit, Harihi, Haraha, Hrim, all these words, they have the root Hr in it. Hr in Sanskrit means steal, loot, eliminate. Like that, these meanings are there for Hr. Steal. So, Harati Papani iti Harihi. So, one who steals away all my papas, takes away all my papas, takes away my sorrow, that person is called Harihi or Haraha, etc. Like that, meanings are given. So, here also, Hrit, heart. The word heart itself looks like it looks very close to this Hrit. HRT is there, HEART is there. So, I think there's a lot of coincidence. It's not, I don't think it can be a coincidence. So, anyway, Hrit. So it is a place where I can invoke Ishvara. And often the Shastra talks about that mind being in the heart. Very interesting. Very interesting. And when you hug somebody, you are hugging not their head. Heads are all hanging wherever. But the hug, touch contact happens with the chest. That's a hug. Two hearts, heart to heart. Heart to heart connect. They don't say head to head connection. They say heart to heart. We should have a heart to heart talk. Hey, talk is coming from here. All thoughts are here. Then how heart to heart talk? That is the beauty. Heart to heart talk is there. And so that means I'm opening up. I want to open up. My heart, that lotus is blooming. I want to have a heart to heart talk. When you really express your emotions, then you feel very light, feel very good after that. Very difficult to open up. And still, I must open up. Still, this flower has to blossom. There is no choice, really speaking. And that is why prarthana is so important. It is a prarthana, Ishvara Anugraha Deva. That Ishvara Anugraha is needed for me to open up. Simply saying chill out and this and that is not useful. And chill out, take it easy means what? I'm not able to take it easy. What are you saying? Take it easy. Means that prarthana is so important. I can just open out, at least to Bhagavan. I can just cry out my problems. I can share my problems. I can beat. I can argue with Ishvara. Ishvara is there for me to develop that relationship. I can debate with him. Why did you do this? Why did you not do that? So at least now give me some strength. Aha, that's it. Once I say it, next day magic happens. Magic happens. And so prarthana is such an important thing. And so this Krit, we've seen in Kathopanishad also. I don't know if I wrote the mantra down, but there is a mantra where so Nihitam Guhayam, etc. comes even in the previous shloka, it is there. Parena Nakam Nihitam Guhayam. Nihitam Guhayam. That cave of the heart, which is where the mind is, which is where knowledge is going to take place. And our Shastra puts the knowledge in the mind, that is good, but mind in the heart, because the mind has to blossom. Only in the heart it will blossom. Blossoming takes place in the heart. And Hrit Pundarikam also, very interesting. Pundarikam, lotus. And they say the lotus is like an inverted, the heart is like an inverted lotus. Lotus bud, sorry, lotus bud is there. If you in Coimbatore, you can see lotuses, and they have the lotuses comes from these farms, I think, and here it's very popular. In some places in India, you can get lotuses, and the thing is they have a bud. See, I don't think they can wait until the lotuses bloom. Bloomed lotus is fantastic to look at. It's absolutely amazing. What you see in the pictures, Saraswati sitting on a lotus, Lakshmi sitting on a lotus, etc. It's exactly that is how the lotus, bloomed lotus will be. It is not an imagination, but inverted lotus bud. That's the shape of the heart. Heart is like this, And so inverted lotus bud. That's how they have envisioned it. And so Hrit Pundari come that lotus, mind is in that lotus. The mind also should bloom like the lotus blooms. It should bloom. Chitta Shuddhi, that is what we call Chitta Shuddhi. And may I overcome all these small petty ideas that I have encouraged throughout my life. And let me invoke compassion. Some people are constantly screaming at me. And I can get caught up with it. And I can, I can be bitter. I can have bitter experience. Or I can say, I'm going to just be compassionate and say, hey, what's his problem? It's not my problem. It is his problem. Number one, first step. First step, it is his problem. And itself gives me a lot of relief. It's his problem. When he's shouting at me, whose problem it is? His problem. I've done all my duties. It's all done, taken care of. There's nothing pending at all. Still, all I get is screams. If somebody says, then that is going to be his problem. Correct? I can even help him if I want to, if I can. But before that, I must first identify the problem and keep the problem where the problem is. I don't take on those problems. Then that means that gives me some relaxation. Relaxation. And in that relaxation comes a lot of strength and some beautiful things happen. Now the relationship improves. And instead of reacting to that person constantly, because I've been reacting, so that's what comes. And the person enters the house itself, I'm reacting. Even before that person uttered a word, this reaction happens. That's how bad it is. And now I'm little better. I'm little better. I've become compassionate to myself, and therefore I can now begin to be a little more compassionate to the other person also. And so that Hrit is a important thing in our any culture. It is important, but we have Upanishad has formalized it. Hrit Pundari come, and that Ishvara is invoked in the heart. Bhagavan is invoked in the heart, and see, visualize Bhagavan in your heart, in that lotus, and you can place Bhagavan wherever you want. Sitting in the bloomed lotus, that's also fine. Sitting in the lotus, and thanks to him or her, my this lotus is also going to bloom. Okay, lotus bloom. I'm reminded of a political party, but that's okay. That's a different lotus. But here, Hrit Pundari, come. So, like this, very interesting words are mentioned in this shloka. So, Virajam, Vishuddham, Vichintya, Madhye, Vishadam, Vishokam. So, all these are loaded words. We'll have to discuss these things one by one. And so, we will continue this discussion, which is on the topic of dhyanam. So if you look at the next mantra, it says dhyatva munihi gacchati bhutayonim samasta sakshim tamasah parastat. This is an Upanishad, so it's not going to keep quiet. It's not going to stick with the basics of dhyanam. It's going to bring in ideas of Atma. Paramartha Tattvam has to be brought in. Sakshitvam is there. So Parameshwara is there, Paramatmanam is there. So we have to connect all this to our study also. So we will do all that along the way. Om Apadamapahartaram Apahartaram Harta Hrit Harta Stealer Looter Looter of what? Apad. All difficulties, all the traumatic things that happened, he's the one who's going to take away all that. आपदामपहर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम्। काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ।